Hi, and welcome to this animation tutorial for beginners for Premiere Pro. Let's get straight to the point and have a look at the video we'll recreate together in this tutorial. It's a 20-second demo animation for an imaginary company.
Tired of taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera? At photoshoot123.com, we got you covered. Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo. Or update your dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new you. The possibilities are endless. Sign up now and get started.
Alright, pretty awesome, right? And don't worry if this looks a bit overwhelming right now. I promise you'll be able to do the exact same thing in Premiere Pro right after watching this video. Now, there are multiple ways to produce animation, and in this tutorial for beginners, I'll show you what I think is the absolute simplest, easiest, and fastest way. We will use something called stock animation, which is a library of ready-to-use assets that enable you to have access to professional-level animations at your fingertips that you can have right now in Premiere Pro within minutes, with literally drag-and-drop simplicity. However, if your goal is to become a professional animator and build all of these yourself from scratch, that requires around 1,000 hours to acquire those skills, and this tutorial is not for you. And unfortunately, that process is not even possible in Premiere Pro. If you like to skip all that boring stuff though, and get straight to the end result right now instead of months from now, if you like to have the same quality of animations right now after watching this video without any previous experience or animation skills, then please keep watching. And as a bonus, I'll provide all the stock animation assets from this tutorial for you for free, so that you can also follow along in Premiere Pro. Download link in the description. Alright, so here we are in Adobe Premiere Pro. So whenever you start any sort of animation project, whether it's an explainer video, a sales video, a training video, or anything else, you usually start from an idea first of all, and then you normally write a script. After you have a script, you most probably would record a voiceover, which we already have here. And if you're going to produce the animation with the help of stock animation, you need to find a bunch of stock animation clips online that are relevant to your specific scenes. So I already went ahead and did that. And don't worry, I'm going to show you the best place online to find stock animation at the end of this video. So again, I have all my files ready. I got music, I got a bunch of stock animation clips, and the voiceover. So let's go ahead and import all of them into Premiere Pro like this by drag and dropping them in. So first things first, I need to create a new sequence. So go here, new item, sequence. Let's go with this one, 1080p, 25 frames, that's good. And normally I prefer to start by adding the voiceover first. So I'm going to add this here. It's actually very small because we're very zoomed out. We're going to fix that in a minute. And next I like to add the music as well. So drag this here. And as you can see, the music is way longer than the voiceover. So I'm going to trim the music to make it as short as the voiceover. And now it's just a matter of zooming in on the timeline so we can see what's going on a little bit better.
Tired of taking selfies?
So right now it's actually very hard to hear the voiceover because the music is very loud. So let's select the music track here, go to Effect Controls, Levels. I'm going to disable this one and then change the volume, let's say to minus 28 decibels. So let's see how that sounds like.
Selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera?
Alright, so now it's much better because you want the viewer to be able to focus on the words that are being said in the voiceover, not to have it difficult to hear what is being said because of the music being too loud. Alright, so as you can see here, we have this thing called a waveform. So if you've never seen this before, it's basically, it kind of goes up when someone is saying something, and then it's a flat line on the bottom when nothing is being said, like here in the beginning. And this is really useful for the timing of the animation because you want what's going on screen to match what's being said. So this is how you can figure out where a scene starts, which is here, let's say. This is sentence number 1. And you can kind of see there's a little pause in here, which means That's the pause between sentence 1 and sentence 2. So that's the break between sentences, basically, between scenes. So this is where we have scene 2 end as well, and scene 3 start, another break here, and so on. So one thing that I actually noticed from the beginning is that we have a pretty big silence here at the start of the voiceover. So I'm actually going to trim that and move the voiceover to start a little bit earlier like this. All right, so let's see the first sentence.
Tired of taking selfies?
All right, so we're talking about selfies. So my first clip that I want to start with is this one right here with a woman taking a selfie. So when I import it, you want to make sure I didn't drop it already. So just drop it here on top. So you don't want to add this on top of this, basically. This is the way Premiere Pro works. It uses separate tracks for video and for audio. And in our case, the audio track is empty, but it's still present for some reason. So just to make it a little bit easier for us to edit, I'm going to right click on this stock animation, unlink, and just remove this by using the backspace. All right, so now I have a bit more flexibility to move this anywhere I want. So this first scene, this first clip is actually around 10 seconds long. She's moving around, doing a lot of things, but I only want like 1 second of it. And for me, the best second is around here where she kind of leans in on the leg like that. All right, so I'm going to trim the beginning then and move this all the way to the beginning. And here where our scene ends, as we can see on the audio waveform, I'm going to trim the ending as well.
Tired of taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera?
All right. So the next scene, we're talking about being stressed, and the scene ends right here on this pause in the audio. So we have multiple different clips of the same character doing different actions. You can have different characters, different genders, and they all do different actions. So you can find whatever is relevant for your story to tell your own message. So next, we're talking about her being stressed in front of the camera. So this is the best one to use. Again, right click here on the timeline, unlink, delete the audio track. All right, let's put it down here on the first video track and trim the end. So let's see.
Taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera?
All right, so one thing that I noticed actually is that so far we have a black background, and that's not really aesthetic for the video. So let's go ahead and add a different background color. So to do that, go here on the bottom on New Item, select Color Matte, click OK, and select whatever color works for you. In our case, I'm going to go with a very, very light blue, something very soft like this. All right, call it background. And it's going to be added as a new item here in our media bin. So drag and drop it here on the timeline. And the way this is going to work is those those stock animation clips are actually transparent. So I need to move them on a video track on top so that I can move the background underneath. And as you can see, because they're transparent around them, we can already see what's on the layer below. All right, so extend this all the way to the end to have the background color for the rest of the video.
At photoshoot123.com, we got you covered.
All right, so next we're introducing the company. We don't really have a logo because it's an imaginary company. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this one, which is a cute icon of a camera. I think that's very suitable for a photo shooting application. All right. And first of all, trim it like this so it matches the end of the sentence and the scene. And here, let's select the camera. And here under Effect Controls, I'm going to use the Scale property to make it a little bit smaller like this. And use this Position property, the Y-axis, to move it a little bit higher. Because next, I want to actually introduce the name of the company here or the website as text. So to do that, I'm going to use this type tool, click here on screen and start typing photoshoot123.com. Select our selection tool, move this here, and go back here to Effect Controls, expand this one for text. This is where you can change the font. Personally, I really love Montserrat. Bold, I think, is perfect. And yeah, the color, this one, let's stick to black because it has very good contrast. And we want to, first I want to align it, center align the text like this. And then if I keep scrolling down, we have this transform tab with the position. So I'm going to first of all click this button to reset it, which is going to put it exactly in the middle. And then I'm going to use the y-axis here to just drag it a little bit lower like this. And now they're both perfectly aligned, centered. All right. And here on the timeline, let's make sure they all fit well together in the scene. And select both of them, move them down, and we're good to proceed.
Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo.
All right, so next, I wanted to make things a little bit more dynamic, so I'm going to add 2 stock animation clips on screen. One is this icon of LinkedIn, and next, on top of that, I'm actually going to have the exact same character as before, but this time dressed a little bit more formal, so more like office, because we're talking about LinkedIn. It's a more professional environment. So let's go ahead and trim those. And actually, I'm going to have both of them selected. Right click, unlink, select the audio, backspace, and that's it. All right, so move them on the right tracks now. And now they're kind of on top of each other, as you can see here. So we still need to move them a little bit. So I'm going to select this first one on top, which is the woman. And I can have the woman here on the right. And for the LinkedIn icon, I'm going to move it a little bit to the left. But now it's too big. So we need to use the scale property to make it a bit smaller like this. Maybe even raise it a little bit higher. Just whatever you think looks balanced. So something like this. And let's see what we have next.
Or update your dating apps and...
All right, so we're talking about updating the dating apps, and I want to keep things dynamic. So I'm going to do the same thing as in the previous scene. I'm going to use 2 different clips. One is this icon of a heart. And next is this character animation of the woman using her phone. So again, select both of them, right click, unlink, delete the audio. It's a bit annoying, but the audio track is there, and that's how Premiere Pro works with editing. But now we have a little bit more flexibility because we have just the video track here and not the audio. All right. This is, again, it's a long clip of the woman playing with her phone, but I don't want all of it. So for me, the best one is this action right here where she kind of starts moving her hand to touch the touchscreen, basically. So I'm going to trim the rest of it, move it here. On the waveform, I know it ends here. So I'm going to trim the ending so the timing is good. Do the same for the icon. And let's put them on the correct tracks here. All right, and let's see. So here we have the character on the right and the icon on the left. So to keep things dynamic, let's switch that around. So I'm going to have the woman on the left. Also kind of works nicely because she's facing towards the right side, so that's good. And then for the icon, I'm just going to move this out of the way, use the scale a little bit, maybe move it a bit higher. And yeah, I think that's really good. Let's see what we have next.
And have people literally fall in love with the new you.
All right, so here's where we're going to make things even more dynamic. So I'm actually going to have 3 different characters on screen at the same time. As you can see, you can find characters of different ethnicities, genders, doing different actions. So you can literally tell your story however you want. So I'm going to add all 3 of them here. And apparently those do not have an audio track, so you don't have to delete that. It's just much more flexible to work with. So I just added all of them on top of each other, but you can only see one because they just cover each other perfectly. So let's fix that. Select the first one, use the position to move it out of the way. And select the one on the bottom, use the position to move him out of the way as well. So again, it's a 10-second clip for each one. And I only want this part right here where they kind of lean in on one leg. So it starts here. Select all 3 of them, trim the beginning because I don't want the part in the beginning then. And now I'm going to move them in the correct spot where the sentence starts. And as you can see, there's a pause here in the waveform, so that's where the scene ends. So move our playhead there and trim the ending as well. So let's see what we have with the last 3 scenes that are really, really dynamic here.
Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo, or update your dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new you. The possibilities are endless.
All right, so I think that looks really good. Let's continue. So next, we're talking about possibilities are endless. It's a moment of celebration. We're getting close to the end of the video. So I have this clip of the woman, same main character from the beginning, cheering, being really happy. Trim it like this. Right click on link, remove this audio, and put it on the first track just so we're nice and clean. All right, and for the last part of the last scene,
sign up now and get started.
So it says sign up now and get started. So the call to action could literally be the exact same thing that we have here, but just with different text. So to do that, let's select those 2 items. So one is the camera, our logo basically, and the other one is the text. I'm going to right click and let's say copy. Anywhere you put the playhead, I'm going to press Ctrl V or Command V on a Mac to copy paste the items. So move them here so it snaps perfectly. And let's see. And also we got to trim it at the end so they all kind of end at the same time. So you want all elements at the end of the video to all end at the same time. In our case, the voiceover doesn't matter because it doesn't say anything else, so that's fine. And now let's see. So actually we need to change this to the call to action. So let's select our type tool, go here, and it said sign up now, exclamation mark.
Started.
All right, and one thing that annoys me at the end of the videos that people usually forget is the music just ends abruptly. So we need to add a small fade out to the music so it's a little bit more natural and smoother, right? So let's have the music track selected here on the timeline. And if you go here under Effect Controls, under Levels, I'm going to click this button and it's going to add what is called a keyframe. So at this point in time, the music is going to be this loud. So now if I move the playhead all the way to the end, let's say to here, I'm going to press this button to add another keyframe here. And at this point in time, I'm going to change this to, I don't know, minus 80, let's say. That should be good. Let's check it out.
Sign up now and get started.
Way, way better. So way smoother. It's just a subtle little thing that, you can do and it adds a lot to the video. All right, so let's watch this whole thing from the beginning and see what we made together so far.
Tired of taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera? At Photoshoot123.com, we got you covered. Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo, or update your dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new you. The possibilities are endless. Sign up now and get started.
All right, so I think that looks absolutely amazing. We literally spent, like 10, maybe 15 minutes creating this thing together. And as you can see, it looks very professional. And it does not require any previous animation experience. It doesn't involve any complex animation skills. Actually, it only requires some very basic video editing skills that you can probably learn just from watching this tutorial. And actually, if you're watching this tutorial for Premiere Pro, you most probably own Adobe Premiere Pro, so you most probably already know how to use it. And again, as you can see, absolutely anyone can do this and can have professional animations at your fingertips within minutes with stock animation. Now, the big question is, where can you find stock animation? You might be able to find some animation clips here and there on big stock platforms, but those are rare because they usually specialize in stock footage shot with a camera, so for them, animation is not even an afterthought. The only place online dedicated exclusively to stock animation is VideoPlasty.com, the world's only animation-first stock platform. Full disclosure, I'm Edward Stunga, founder of VideoPlasty. We built VideoPlasty with one single goal in mind: to make animation easy, simple, and accessible to everyone, regardless of budget or previous animation experience. That's why we build and curate professionally animated assets that you can have access to with drag and drop simplicity, compatible with all of your favorite video editing software. Have a look on the website, we have plenty of characters, icons, scenes, and a lot more. Our items are generally sold individually, but are also available in bundles at a massively discounted price. Pricing is also very simple and straightforward. You can either pay per item, or you can choose a monthly subscription with download credits or unlimited downloads. Use the discount code in the description to get 25% off your first order. This was Edward Stynga, founder of VideoPlasty.com. If you watched all the way to the end, you are awesome. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, stay creative.